We're joined by Terry.
You all right, mate? How are you?
I'm all right. Lot to get through. I know you're busy with your job and stuff like that. I don't really know where to start. I want to get your opinion, Terry. I've got my opinion on this, but I want to get your opinion on the Eubank comments regarding Robert Smith and Eddie Hills and the ambulance and all that. What do you think? Is it hype to sell the fight, or is there genuine complaints there?
I think it's a bit of both. So I think they know there's an issue there, but they're like, let's just turn it into energy for the fight. I think that's what's happening here. And Eubank Jr. as always is doing his job perfectly.
Yeah. Well, no one ever seems to sue anybody in boxing. Have you noticed? It all gets settled out of court. We had Fury settled out of court with Mick Hennessy, 1.5 million, because Mick were going to expose text messages regarding wild boar and all sorts. And then we had Frotchy settled for 300 grand with Hennessy out of court. But yet both of them were adamant they were going all the way. But when it come to it, when you've got to tip up 500,000 up front to get the hire of the building, everybody seems to think, ooh, don't they? And I think that's what will probably happen with Eubank and Hills, because I can't remember a time Eddie's ever been to High Court. I know his dad lost £1 million in the Steve Collins one in Ireland, didn't he? But maybe they're still sore over that. So do you think it'll go to court, or do you think it'll get worked out?
We won't go to court. The problem with going to court is stuff has to come out in disclosure.
Yeah.
And in boxing, you'd rather stuff didn't come out
Yeah.
because it doesn't make anyone look good. Do you
No.
see what I mean? And
Mhm.
I can ask all sorts of questions. I can say, look, show us the medical profile of people who have fought on these shows, and if there's a legally valid reason for it, it can happen. So no one wants their dirty laundry exposed in public. So you'd only sue if it's that important to you. Remember, he said he was going to sue Jake Paul, and that went
Yeah.
away.
A bit. Mick Hennessy, we're going to expose Fury, by the way, regarding mental health and all sorts of stuff. And Fury tipped at 1.5 million, and all Mick's costs obviously were fat at the time from earning a lot of money. But it just shows you, doesn't it, how they say one thing on social media, but really they've not got skeletons in closet. These people, there's graveyards, Terry, isn't there?
Yeah, exactly. But you know, if I'm a boxing fan, do I even want to know that?
We
I
want to
probably
see
don't want
fights,
to
don't
know.
we, Terry?
But
Just want to see fights, don't we?
I want to see fights, and I also want to just be naive to the game as well. I'd like to get back to that point where I don't know that much, because the more you know, the less respect you have for the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean. Uh, Eubank Ben, you said it had happened. There's people behind the scenes saying there's going to be a third one. Do you think they'll do that? Do you think they'll try and create a bit of controversy?
They'll just milk this for as long as they can. This is going to be like the Fast and the Furious, mate. They're just going to keep milking this because Hearn's got no more cash cows. I think I tweeted this yesterday. When you see a British promoter and a British fighter in Dubai talking about a fight in Ghana, you know there's a problem there because it's never happened before.
Yeah,
Every time you've seen Eddie Hearn and Joshua, it's always been in London, hasn't it?
yeah,
Always had a venue lined up. Well, we'll do a stadium fight. We'll do Wembley. Do you know what I mean? Because there's no way Ghana makes more money than Wembley. Joshua can still fight at Wembley or Wembley, Tottenham. He can still do that. Why isn't he doing that? This is what people aren't asking. Why isn't he doing that?
why aren't these YouTubers asking that? We access.
Because they've got access. That's why.
You know what I mean? Tom Dallas is telling the chosen few. He's Matchroom's matchmaker, by the way. He's telling the chosen few that he can see down the line a bare knuckle or a cage fight with Eubank and Ben. So maybe you might be right about that Fast and Furious nonsense. Because didn't we have Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank Sr. pretending to live in the 16th century, going at it on Channel 5 as gladiators or something?
Yeah, exactly. But their rivalry was real. This one's manufactured, and I think the public see through that. That's why people aren't bouncing off the walls like they were for the first fight. This one's just, they know this is a money grab because, like we talked about this in April, Russ. The first fight answered everything. There was nothing left. Like, there was nothing unresolved after the first fight.
Yeah.
And they've got greedy. And as a boxing fan, my opinion is this: you're an idiot if you just want to facilitate their greed. Don't be mad. If you buy the tickets, if you buy the pay-per-view, don't be online complaining. Yeah? Because you know what's coming.
We're fighting back, aren't we, on this? Because obviously we're going to go in depth today, and these are going to be fantastic episodes with scripts I've knocked up here. It only took me 2 hours, but which is longer than normal. But when you scratch the surface, somebody is taking a piss on us from the top of the penthouse, aren't they? And everybody's lapping it up. Now, in my opinion, and I keep banging on about this, and I'll always bang on about it, we've got people with access adding fuel to this. They know it's wrong, but they're caught in like a fishbowl, aren't they, Terry? Do you think this like starstruckness, isn't it?
No, I
Fanboy.
don't. No, I don't, Russ. I think the stuff you're telling me is the reason why the poor stay poor and the rich stay rich,
Yeah.
right? It's the reason why there's no social mobility in Britain. Because every time we do something, we look to someone else to fix it for us. Oh, our hospitals are all wrong. Government, sort it out. Like, we always look to somebody else, and it's always someone who doesn't have our interests at heart. And then we're surprised when they don't do anything for us. And it's the same with this. We're saying, well, why don't these YouTubers do anything for the fans? They're not here for you. Yeah. The real question is, why don't the fans do anything for themselves? Yeah. The only way you'll ever get what you want out of boxing is to stop asking people, stop begging, get off your knees and just stop watching the thing. If
Yeah.
you don't want to see Ben Eubank or Eubank Ben, don't watch it. Don't go to the presser. Don't tweet about it. Don't get involved in it. But because you can't help yourselves, because you have to be in the know, because you have to stick your nose into everything, they know they can just keep pulling the strings. The way that boxing fans get free is to walk away. Until you walk away from the things you don't like and put money behind the things you do like, it's never going to change. Stop asking people to do things for you that you're not doing yourself.
Yeah. Uh, okay. The WBC have Conor Benn ranked number 4 at welterweight. He's not fought at welterweight for 3.5 years. Is that why we call the WBC We Be Crooks?
I just have him at number one. At this point, it doesn't really matter what number he is, does it? Just have him at number one. Solid. Have him number one with all the governing bodies because they don't mean anything anymore. Rankings mean nothing. This is another thing I keep saying. We look at institutions, yeah. You see, look, you're talking about it doesn't matter. Right now, that doesn't matter. What should matter is whether the fans are buying it or not. That's all that should matter. All this stuff, the belts don't mean jack. The rankings don't mean jack. Stop watching the stuff you don't like.
Yeah. I was just about to. We've just poo-pooed on my next question there. Yeah, Conor Benn, aka Crusher, he's ranked number 1 at BoxRec at 154, and he's fought 2 journeymen there, and he's now fighting his second fight at middleweight. And I don't see him moving down in weight again, me, but because that's usually what happens. It's very rare they move back down, and it's dangerous that in it once they get solid at a certain weight. But you've just poo-pooed on me, but.
Let
Okay.
him be ranked number one at heavyweights. That's what I mean. Like, what does it even mean anymore?
Yeah. Okay. This week I've noticed and I've been studying it and I've looked and I've dug deep and these are the Sunday sermons, Monday Mass, Titty Tuesday, the Wednesday Wank and all the rest of it. Bombay Dave, Judge Jordan, Super Bean, The Disappearing Man, The Gad, Company Man Barker, Puppy Parsons, Coogan, Omar, the rest of them all feel the need to come out and hammer Eubank regarding his comments about Eddie Hills and Robert Smith. Robert Smith's not acted yet with Eubank. Hills has issued a writ. Eubank's issued a writ. But why is it the same old group coming out defending Eddie Hills, the Iceman? It's the same old people in it going into bat, even if they're wrong. They feel that they have to go out there and talk about this for days on end, on end, on end. And we're talking about this rather than our lack of world champions, because at the moment we have one English male world champion, and that is Nick Ball. And when he steps up to fight, I know you, that'll be all she wrote, won't it?
Mate. Like all of this stuff is just the boxing.
WWE.
You what?
WWE.
Not even think it's sad, man. I just think these guys have realized fans are cowards. You know, all these people are cowards. They talk tough. Like in your comment section, they all talk tough, right?
Yeah.
Those guys have got no backbone. They all talk tough, like they got no backbone. Yeah. Stop watching IFL. See how quick the world changes when you stop watching IFL.
Yeah.
Or start supporting. I'm preaching to the choir here, aren't I? But start supporting channels like yours. When these channels start doing good numbers, the world will change. But until then, as long as you guys keep glazing off Coogan and all these guys, and they do, I see Coogan at shows. These same people that throw shots in the comment section, when they see Coogan in person, they want a picture with him. It's embarrassing. So, like I said to you before, if you took boxing fans and you separated them and said, how many do you think have courage? Of every 100 boxing fans, I think 10 have courage and 90 of them are sheep. So until the sheep change, the game won't change.
Yeah. Yeah. I see where you're coming from. I see where you're coming from. But what it shows, though, is this, in my opinion. The same old people coming out, going into bat for the same promoter in Hills or Bricktop, or it's mainly Hills they come out for, isn't it? Your Coldwells and, blah, de blah, Super Beans and that. The same old people, right, are doing the same old thing. And it's like repeat, 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 but it shows you the power of these promoters, doesn't it? I had this argument with somebody the other day regarding matchmaking now. Matchmaking. I never had a matchmaking license when I worked for Dennis for over 6 years, but it didn't really matter, Dennis said to me. And I said, why? And he said, because my word is final, Russell. And I said, all right. And I said, does that go for all other promoters? He went, yeah. Matchmakers can do all they want, but if I say no, it's no because it's my money. So that's just the same for people like Tom Dallas at Matchroom and Steve Furness at Queensbury. Do you agree?
I do, but I don't see what's wrong with that.
Yeah, I don't, because it's their money, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, it's not. It's your money.
How do you mean?
They're not putting up their money. It's your money.
Yeah, you mean the fans?
Yeah, it's your money.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Like when the government spends money on things we don't like hotels for asylum seekers, that's our money. That's not their money. That's our money.
Because we pay taxes, don't we?
Yeah. When Jeff Bezos buys a yacht, he buys it with our money. We buy on Amazon. That's our money. We need to stop thinking that these guys are putting up this mythical money that they have. They're not taking risks, mate. It's your money. So I understand the matchmaking, the promoter having final say because the promoter wants control of the event. So I understand it from that perspective. But not from a money perspective, because if we don't go, the promoter's going to eat a loss. And that's when fans should understand what their power is. Can you imagine they put all this money into Eubank Benn and not one ticket is sold?
They'd be on
Imagine that. Yeah. Imagine no one bought a ticket. That's fan power. But you have to have courage to do that.
How do you think? Let me just wrap it up on this one then. The ambulance situation. I've spoke to my legal person who usually gives me a bit of advice. She usually says, "Take that down" or "Keep that up" or blah blah blah. Russell, you can't say that. Blah blah blah. It's a criminal offence to stop an ambulance with a blue light. It's also a criminal offence to stop a ambulance moving full stop. It's not down to the promoters. So what Eubank said, and he will have known this, Eubank, he's very cute. This is how I think. In fact, I don't think, I fucking know. That it's all just hype and scripted bullshit, Terry. Do you agree with that? Because they've got nothing to sell it on this fight, have they? How could they sell us a second fight when the first one were conclusive, and they're talking a third one. I mean, what's happening here? Is it because Spotty Frank's married to the sister and rolling on it, or what's going on here?
This Eubank Benn thing will be milked until there's nothing left to milk. Like we might be 17 generations down the line. They will milk it. This is like the the House of York and the House of Lancaster. They're just gonna milk it like that. The War of the Black Roses. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it winds me off at clock, as you know. But it is what it is. Now I want to talk about Dalton Smith and the Matchroom Netflix thing. Barry Hearn's talking 1.5 billion if Matchroom's worth if they sell it. They couldn't win a purse bid for 1.3 million for Dalton Smith. He's got to get on his bike to Costa Rica. But last year, Eddie were talking home advantage for Dalton Smith in Sheffield and blah de blah. Why have they not gone into bat for Dalton Smith?
But wait, why is it? What do I get for my 1.5 billion?
Well, you don't. I think they're inflating it, the value of it, like they did Leighton Orient, and they lifted that Italian guy's leg, didn't they? In
No,
my,
no. I'm asking you, what do I get for 1.5
oh, you
billion?
get Joshua, you get Conor Benn, you get Katie Taylor, and you get anybody else who's from other countries, Opitia, and Bam Bam Rodriguez, and you get Darren Barker and Bellew on commentary. That's what you get.
you,
That's it.
you
You get the
see my point, right?
get Pool. Now, eight ball pool, and they're now doing nine ball ping pong, and I think that's it, really, innit? What else do they do? Oh, darts. They do well with darts, but not 1.5 billion.
No. They tried to sell it at 1 billion and it didn't work. They tried to sell it at 750 million, it didn't work because essentially all Matchroom are an events company.
Yeah,
If you take Eddie out of the picture and Barry out of the picture, there's nothing there. They don't make anything. It's not like they've got Matchroom studios where they put all the cameras up. They don't make anything. They're middlemen.
you
And people realize
have
this.
not got their own platform, Terry, to put shows on if they're that big.
Yeah, they don't have anything.
You remember a few years ago when you said to me, certain channels have got certain subscribers. You know, they've got 1 million subscribers, but they're averaging 27, 28,000 a video. So what are the other million doing? Now, if they were that big, you said they'd be like Jonathan Ross on ITV, wouldn't they?
Mm-hmm.
But that's like Matchroom. If they were that big, why have they not got their own platform? Why are they hanging about for Sky dates and DAZN dates and blah de blah, and even sniffing around the BBC and trying to topple young Ben Shalom, who's having a go? And technically, he's got us free boxing, hasn't he? On terrestrial TV, which is a big thing because Dennis Hobson was the last guy to do that 20 years ago, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's a new era, mate. I think what we're realizing is this is the end of Matchroom. No one cares about snooker anymore. No one cares about darts. No one cares about fishing, right? Those are sports that the average participant age is just going up every year.
Yeah.
So this is so the Hearns are trying to get out. What they'd love to do is get their money out and put it into something like a football club or a rugby club and go, right, let's go and flip that sport around and make more money. That's what they really want to do. But the market's basically saying Matchroom is Eddie Hearn. Without Eddie Hearn, Matchroom's nowhere. And that's his fault. That's terrible business. When you're the key risk factor in your business, it's a problem. So I would say we're in the last throes of Matchroom boxing. Like the next 2 years will be definitive. If they don't build a pay-per-view star in the next 2 years, you'll see Hearn just slide out the sport.
Joshua's been out of action now. He's into his 13th month, the longest ever he's not fought. I think he had a year gap between when he fought Pulev and the one before. They were a year out, but he's now 13 months out. He's nothing booked in, and there's wrapped in cotton wool. They're just begging for the begging ball for Fury, and Fury will know that he's as sharp as a tack, isn't he?
No, yeah, but where's the fight going to happen?
Exactly. They're waiting for the money to be there, aren't they? They don't.
No, no, no. Where's the fight going to happen?
Well, they're
Even
saying
if the money's there.
Ghana, aren't they, or Nigeria? Yeah.
Well, for Fury, Joshua versus Fury.
Well, they're saying that that's a possibility for Joshua in his next couple of fights. He always wants to fight there. It's on his bucket list. Eddie's words.
So why didn't we do it before? Why didn't he do it in those fights where he wasn't going to make a lot of money?
Yeah,
Why didn't he do it
like
then?
you mean them 4 fights he had in quick succession?
No, no, no. Like the kind of post Ruiz run. You know where he didn't really fight anyone like your Jermaine Franklin's.
Yeah, that's
They're
what
the
them
fights you do in Ghana.
Franklin and Garno, Wally and Elenius, them fights. Yeah,
Yeah, they're the fights you do in Ghana. You don't do Joshua Fury in Ghana. That doesn't make any sense. You do it here, right? But they're not talking about doing it here. I haven't heard Hearn say, well, yeah, we'll just book Wembley for that.
What happened to Joshua getting in the ring after he beat Povetkin and beating his chest, saying the UK's where it's at for the fans? And then what happened? Ruiz in New York, and then Saudi after that for rematch, and more Saudi after that, and blah de blah. So it's just lip service, isn't it? Do you think?
Yeah, but it's still the question. Why? How, we spent the last 12 to 15 years watching Joshua do everything in the UK. He might go on holiday somewhere else. We haven't seen Joshua do anything in the UK for months now, have we?
No.
He hasn't not an award ceremony. All those adverts he's putting up are old adverts that he did like last year. He hasn't done anything new,
Yeah.
right? You remember when Dom Ingles said we had to ship the bag to Dubai?
Yeah.
Why would you have the bag that you need to train with shipped to Dubai? Why aren't you not training here?
Yeah.
What sparring are you getting in Dubai?
Well, McCracken told Dripping Tap in Meadowhall that Joshua, before they finished, 2 to 3 fights before, he weren't even doing road work. So,
Yeah, no, mate, you're going down the wrong track here. I'm asking a serious question.
oh, go on, yeah.
Why is he packed up and moved to Dubai?
I don't know. That's why I've got you on to ask you.
No, but every fan should be asking him. You're a British Olympic gold medalist. You won your world titles here. Why aren't you talking about seeing out your career in the UK?
Yeah,
Why aren't you here?
pot fans.
No, why aren't you here? Who are you hiding from?
Yeah, okay. Do you think the journalists will ask him that, the boxing journalists, or do you think they'll poo-poo it?
They know why he's in Dubai. Yeah,
Because he can't get, because they can't test him out there, can they?
they can. They tested him. So
So
it's not a testing
then
thing.
why do you think he's there, Terry? It's on free gratis, isn't it? They're putting him up in an hotel and all that. Into he sponsored for Dubai, the country or something? Don't they back him or something?
I've heard rumors of why he's there, but ain't no one paying me to to put that one out there. Do you know what I mean? That's a heavy load to carry. But I've heard from people that maybe he needs to be somewhere where he can't be summoned back. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. Well, he's been out of action over a year now, so if he doesn't fight in the UK for another year, that's a 2 year silent ban done, isn't it? He can get fighting in other countries and not the UK. That's what it's all pointing to, isn't it?
No, so I don't think he's banned because UK is still testing him. So they wouldn't test him if he was banned.
Yeah.
There'd be no reason to because he wouldn't be eligible to participate in any sport. I don't think he's banned.
Okay. BBC Two, it's Big Freeze against Jamie TKV. It's a good fight, that, isn't it?
I think that's good for the BBC. I don't hear anyone complaining about that because that there is a chance for boxing to become interesting to the average fan. And because these two have a bit of needle, I don't see this being a cagey, stick to your jab type of thing. I can see this being just two lumps going at it.
Well, Fraser's didn't mess about in his last one. He came out swingers, which he should have maybe done earlier in his career before Wardley put him on Mars. Do you think?
What a description.
Well, he put a big dint on his head, and I like Big Freeze. I like him. I
Yeah,
think he's a big cuddly teddy bear. I think he has got the devil in him. I think it's got to be brung out of him. But I think he's a nice enough kid, mate. To be honest, he
I
comes
like him.
across all
I
right,
think he's
doesn't he,
really nice
Fraser?
in person.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I think he's really nice in person. I do think his GB career was kind of gifted to him,
yeah,
but but he earned his time there. You got to think he joined GB in like 2009. He was there before Joshua,
Yeah.
so he had to see Joshua go through, Joyce go through. Then it was his turn. So no, I'm not too mad about it, but I know he's vulnerable.
Yeah.
And if Jamie shows up in good shape and is the Jamie I remember him being, that's going to be an entertaining fight because it's just to be two guys just hooks, uppercuts, all of that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Uh, who have you got in that fight? Big Freeze or TKV?
I'm Team Jamie all day.
Well, I'm Team Big Freeze. You know what I mean? Uh,
Yeah.
2 seconds. Uh, okay. Let's move on then. Uh, Max Kellerman. He's done his fourth interview in 2 days on big platforms regarding Mayweather Crawford. Will that happen, Terry? And who you got?
It will never happen. And I think it's a stupid comparison. I just don't believe you can put Crawford in the same conversation as Floyd. I just don't. And however you want to define it, people say, oh, Crawford style's all wrong for Floyd. Floyd hates movers. No, he doesn't. Floyd Mayweather made boxing look so easy that we don't know what his ceiling was. We don't know. I don't think we ever saw the best Mayweather.
No.
No. Like we were
He never really
celebrating
got in
people winning
trouble. He never
around.
really got out of third gear, did he, really?
Never needed to.
I mean, Cotto and Maidana towards the end of his career were clipping him, but he dealt with them. He adjusted, didn't he?
Yeah. And so when people say Mayweather versus Crawford, I'm like, which version of Mayweather? Do you know what I mean? Because there are points in Mayweather's career where he was just impossible to stop. Do you know what I mean? So I don't like those comparisons in general. I think it's lazy. And I
Mm.
think what you end up doing is you end up diminishing both men. Crawford is the best of this post Mayweather era for me. Yeah. He's everything I like in a boxer. I'm a huge Crawford fan. I love him. He's everything I'd want to see in a kid when it comes to boxing.
He's not Mayweather, is he?
Nah, not many are.
Do you
Do you know what
remember
I mean?
Mayweather beating Genaro Hernandez in his first world title fight when he was a
Yeah,
kid?
it was 20, 21.
No, we're like, yeah, we're 2021. It was 96, wasn't it? That
Yeah, just people forget. So that version of Mayweather,
or
people don't even go
97,
back
something
and
like
watch
that.
him.
Yeah, he a fantastic fighter, Mayweather, but he looks like he's got dope problems, Terry, doesn't it?
Why?
I don't know. That's what they're saying online.
Mate, he could sell his cars. Like, what do you mean he's got money problems? He could sell his cars and get money. He has money.
Yeah,
He might not have. So look, this is what these baked bean eaters and all these clowns need to understand. There's
baked
a
bean
difference.
eaters.
Yeah, there's a difference between not having cash and being broke. Big difference. Do you see what I mean? You
Yeah,
can have cash flow problems, but you can be asset rich.
yeah,
And people forget that you can own buildings, but because you've had to service debts or whatever, you might not have a lot of cash in your bank on that month or that week. That doesn't mean you're poor. It doesn't mean you're broke. You
mm,
haven't got money problems. You just got a bump in the road that you got to sort out. I think the Mayweather brand is too strong for him to ever be broke.
yeah. It was 98 October, not 97, when he fought Genaro Hernandez, and he were no cream puff, what him? He retired at 32, 2-1 in his last fight with Mayweather. He'd only been beat by De La Hoya before that, and that was it. That was his only loss. He'd beat everybody he'd fought except De La Hoya and Mayweather. So it wasn't exactly an easy one for Floyd, that was it?
No, this is what I mean. Like, what, how old was Crawford when he fought for a world title? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, he fought Ricky Burns, didn't he? Beat Ricky Burns.
Yeah. So a lot of people judge Mayweather based on who he was at 37, 38. They forget all the other years where he was knocking lumps out of people for fun, where he was horrible and nasty, humiliating people. They forget that version of him. The guy who wanted to fight everybody, and everyone was like, yeah, I'm going to give that one a swerve.
Yeah, I see what you mean. All right. We've spoke about Floyd. You're a Floyd fan, obviously, aren't you, Terry? You like
I'm a Porky fan first, Mayweather second.
Oh, Terry, you say all the right things.
Get
Here's a
your
guy.
set round corner. Just
Yeah,
driven over an hour.
get your coat off. I've just driven an hour and 20 minutes in Max's Volvo. I'm going to pull your fucking head off. No, we're going to happen. I know he'd poo-poo it. Uh, Here's a guy that I know you like a lot. I've gone back online. 12 fights ago, it was his last fight. He's now having his 50th, and this is his last fight. Derek War Chisora. He's always there or thereabouts, isn't he?
This is not his last fight.
No, this is. Well, why do they keep saying it every fight?
Because maybe in his head he thinks it, right? But then he'll say it's my last fight. And then the Joshua fight will come up. Be very clear about this. The Joshua fight will come up.
Teacher against pupil, Finchley and all that. Juggies would be knocking one out. He'd be having a reach around on himself, wouldn't he? He won't be able to cope with that one. He'd be torn to death, wouldn't he, Juggies?
Yeah. Yeah, there's too much money on the table for Del Boy. And I don't know if you listened to my latest pod episode where I was talking about this new generation ain't as tough as his generation. So he's like, why do I have to retire? They're soft.
These are easy fights for him, aren't they? It's like sparring, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Wardley. Now, I've picked Wardley to beat Parker because I'm looking at Parker's last six, and they're either old fat men, Zhang, Wilder, and Bacoli, or cruiserweight small men, Jack Massey, who's a small guy, and he gave him all he could over 10 rounds. Or they were just bin men. The other two guys were bin men. And I think Parker's CV, are people of like Simon Jordan and them, they're losing their mind over how good Parker really is. I personally think Wardley lights him up and puts him on planet Jupiter. What do you think?
I think you're right. Because all the other guys that he fought, like Zhang, when Zhang connected, he dropped him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wilder was looking for that big shot. I don't think he quite got it. Bacoli didn't really get a chance. I just think if you can hit Parker hard, he'll buckle. Dillian's dropped him as well. Like
Holy, with 22 stone.
eating roast crocodile.
Hey, he'd been eating roast crocodile. He got a jeep out at jungle, then a propeller plane, and then 3 jets, didn't he, to get there? And then he fought within 17 hours. I mean, come on, Parker had it on a plate for that one, and they gave him the same money as if he were fighting Dubai. Come on.
But wasn't Okoli in the area as well? Okoli was in Dubai or
Oh,
Saudi, one of them.
well, they said it. Well, it says online that he got a propeller plane and other planes. He need to get away from the jungle. So he went Congo, wasn't he?
Yeah, Bongo, they're drinking in the Congo.
Yeah. All right. Now, here's one for you here. Ben Davison says they take the fight. It's a win-win. Atoma Usyk. He's had 26 rounds. He's had an hour in the ring. If he loses against Usyk, he lost to an all-time great and the current daddy. If he wins, he's Michael Jordan, isn't he? So it's a win-win, in it. They can always bring him back if he loses and he'll have gained experience. Do you agree?
I do. I just think Usyk beats him. And not because I don't like Moses. I think Moses is brilliant. But you've got no southpaw advantage against Usyk, right? So, we haven't seen you have to box against someone that fights the same way you do.
Yeah.
So we don't know, what can you do when the jab's a little bit closer to your face? Do you know what I mean? I want to see that when the power hand's a little bit closer, can you still get away from those shots? I think Usyk would grind him down.
Yeah. Well, they're saying he could fight Usyk and get 30 to 40 million, or he could fight somebody for 2 million and it could go other way, some top five guy. So I think they'll be hanging on for the Usyk fight. They keep saying nobody wants to fight him, but I think they're waiting for that 30-day thing, with WBO, and I think Bricktop will make his move then.
Yeah, I think Moses Atama's goal is to get in, get paid, and get out. I don't think he wants to be boxing at 35.
No, if he loved boxing that much, why is he not screaming for a British?
Against who, though?
Well, he could be screaming for It's Big Freeze if he beats TKV or vice versa, couldn't he?
Well, he can't fight Jamie because they're in the same gym.
All right then. Well, if Jamie loses to It's Big Freeze, we could have It's Big Freeze against Atoma. Why not? Why not do it to the traditional way instead of just getting bumped up the rankings to WBO number one and all the hype scaring everybody off, and then just park there. I mean, once you're number one, why would you want to fight somebody at number 14 when you can be going pushing for champion? I mean, normally when Bricktop gets a guy at that ranking, he's normally screaming for a title shot. He's not though now, is he? They've gone quiet. Okay.
Mate, Usyk's formidable, mate. Like he's formidable for another southpaw, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. 4 minutes left on this. We'll take it to end though. Usyk Jake Paul at MMA. Usyk says why not? Jake Paul says why not? Jake Paul's still calling the fucking shots, isn't he?
He's a money man. Do you know what I mean? He brings that bread. He brings the bread, and you know boxers love a few crumbs of bread.
Yeah. It's crazy. What do you think to Jake Paul against Tank? That's a cruiserweight against a lightweight. That's like Ricky Burns against Johnny Horsecock.
Listen, I'm telling you this now. Jake Paul's going to take the hardest body shots he's ever taken against Tank. There is nothing more annoying, Russ, on God, than fighting those little guys. There's nothing more annoying.
Yeah.
See, when you jump in the ring with them, you think, oh, I'm the bigger guy. Da, 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 da. But half your punches ain't going to land. And every time you miss, they hit you with 2 or 3 punches. And it's still hard enough to be uncomfortable. Like, he could break Jake Paul's ribs comfortably. Like, I can see that happening where Tank just goes, look, even in 12s, I'm going to crack your ribs.
Yeah. Yeah.
But from a boxing perspective, here's my take. If that's the highest payday Tank's going to get, why not take it?
Yeah. He's put his time in, hasn't he?
Yeah. If it's, oh, you should be fighting Shakur. Well, no one's ponying up the money that Tank wants. So why is he going to fight Shakur?
Yeah. When he won his last fight, Tank, they were all in, they went to a chicken and chip place, you know, like KFC, but it wasn't called that.
Mm.
It was called something else, Popeye or something. And they were all in there. And then I saw the pictures of them all at this house, and I swear to God, some of the guys there, they look like raging crackheads, mate. So I don't know if he'll be
Mate,
able to handle all that money in.
yeah, that's Baltimore for you, mate.
Is it
I
rough?
always say, like, when you get to that level, yeah, you got to get out your hometown.
Yeah, it's like Tommy Earns. He ended up with 40 million, didn't he? But he couldn't get away from where they were from, and they just bled him dry, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a crazy one, isn't it? Yeah, that's probably what you've got to do at that stage at game. You want to go into part two, mate?
All right, mate. I'll see you on part 2.
Thank you very much. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. We're joined by my good pal Terry over the last 10 years. Been a good lad. We've had a couple of arguments, mainly over boxing, but other than that, he's a good kid. Don't forget to click the link in the comment section and go and have a nosy on Porky's International. That's our sister channel. If you like what I like, if you like what I say on boxing, go and have a look on there. I've got a corker lined up tonight for 8 o'clock for that channel, so that'll be out tonight as well. Okie dokie. Peace out.